Well, we're leaving Johor today. This is the last time I'll get to walk out by this pool that doesn't have any water in it. It's a go day. Where we going, little dude?
Penang.
You know where Penang is?
We landed on the big one. We landed on the big island that I saw.
That's my house. Well, we came up to Penang from Johor Bahru a couple of days ago. It was time for a change. I finished up my project in Johor, and it was time to move on to a new destination. And we came to Penang. Well, I'll explain the background a little bit. You know, I'm a journalist. I'm an author. I travel, perpetually, and I travel mostly to cover stories, to research the topics that I'm writing about. And when I'm on my own, that's cool. I just go off to these kind of middle of nowhere, grungy or otherwise, not very interesting places, and it's cool. That's where I like to be. But my family has been with me for the past few months, and they're not really so interested in going, out beyond the fringes of, the developed world, right? They'll go. They're good sports. They go out and they, go pretty much anywhere that I want to go. They don't really complain, but every once in a while, I realize that, hey, I gotta change things up a little bit. We need to get to a place that's a little more interesting, a place that's a little more fun, a place that people actually go, a place that's actually built and developed. So anyway, after spending the past couple of months, out beyond the urban fringes of Kuala Lumpur and Johor Bahru, we decided to come to a place that's kind of cool. And as soon as we arrived in Penang, we came face to face with the absolute worst thing about the place: traffic. Like many cities throughout Southeast Asia or, these emerging markets all over the world, the traffic, there is no answer to the traffic, right? So we left the airport and we just sat in a car for, hours and hours. It took us almost longer, porthole to porthole, to travel, 15 or so kilometers from the airport into the heart of Georgetown, the biggest city in Penang that we were going to. That took us to fly from Johor all the way up to get here. They kind of turn these cities into absolute, traffic choked, horrible places. And, it takes people hours to get home from work when they're not even going anywhere. Right? But anyway, eventually we arrived in our apartment. And the place is kind of cool, a 2-bedroom little place, right in the heart of the city that basically has, everything that we need. What do you think, Hannah? New house for the month. The living room. The bedroom. The other bedroom. What bed is your bed, Ruby?
This one. You already made the deal. I claimed that blue drawer, so you better get cleaning things faster. I'll clean them off.
The kitchen.
And they have appliances like a fucking oven. You see that?
They got a fucking oven?
Little baby oven. And a really nice frying pan.
Man, this is like luxury, man. Attack of the city! Attack of the city! Oh, they got me! I'm getting out of here! And this city, I'm really, really surprised in just how cool this city, really is. Right? I was coming here expecting it to be some corny fucking tourist inferno, right? but it's not. You know, sure, there's a lot of tourists here, there's a lot of expats here and all that, but the place still has, you know, integrity. It still has, you know, character. I mean, the city's just like loaded with all these like, you know, nice little traditional neighborhoods, you know, packed full of like these really cool cafes and bars. There's these really cool like wooden water towns built around the jetties, you know, over the water. I mean, the place is just, I mean, gorgeous. I mean, it's this old colonial city that still has colonial character, while at the same time it still has, you know, evidence of being like 100% completely modern. And you can see this kind of a more traditional style, you know, neighborhood that I'm staying in is kind of like encircled by these rows of like, you know, modern, you know, new, you know, middle class to luxury high-rise complexes. So the city has that side as well. I mean, if you like fancy shopping malls, they're here, right? Or if you like to hang out in these like beat up, broken down, kind of sketchy, you know, character packed bars, they're here too. I mean, the place just really has everything. And on top of all that, there's the beach. I'm at the beach in Batu Ferenghi now. It's kind of this resort area, about 20 minutes to the north of Georgetown and Penang. It's, I mean, there's like hotels and, you know, development and like restaurants and stuff like that, but the place is still, you know, pretty raw. And you can still come out here and, you know, watch the sunset and hang out. And, you know, every other business isn't playing Bob Marley. Anyone who's traveled, you know, knows what I mean here. But anyway, I mean, the place is beautiful.